So let's start. My name is Ilya. I'm from JetBrains Research. I work in Human AI Experience team. Strange, fancy words that is hard to explain what we do there, but I'll try. Let's start with this picture. You might have seen things like that. Would you push or pull this door? Who would pull?
Both.
Who would push? Basically, this one is designed for pushing, but a lot of people would have some problems with that, because here we see that our mental model of how the handle should work, it contradicts the idea of the designer. So basically, you want to pull this door. Most of you, like it's not 100% thing, but most of you will try to pull this door by its handles, but engineer thought that it's for pushing. And here it is the example of how our mental model can shape our interaction with some physical object. So basically, mental model is what the user believes about how our user experience works. And what I'm going to talk about is our mental models of AI. So for a lot of people, AI is something frightening, and a lot of people tend to think more about features of AI, which we all know as hallucinations. For example, this already outdated feature, AI generating more fingers on the hand than it used to, for people who are further from AI than this audience here, is still something they tend to have in their mental model. Do you have any favorite examples of hallucinations? Yeah. The recipe of? Can you describe it?
You ask the ChatGPT, for example, to provide a simple recipe of big wings, and it tells you the recipe. But the big doesn't have wings.
Okay, so nice. I'll try that later. When we're discussing this, we've chosen one example just 2 days ago. One example that we wanted to show as an example of hallucinations, which actually doesn't work anymore. So this is prompt. The prompt was, please generate the image without elephants. And it is an example of hallucination. For a lot of time, the models would produce images with a lot of elephants with the prompt, please do that without ones. Just yesterday, the picture changed, and current GPT 4.0 model can do that. So the models are evolving quickly. Although I would say that an elephant could be somewhere around the corner. But still, the hallucinations a lot of people have in mind about AI might not be up to date. At the same time, there are different kinds of people who believe in AI too much. And in this wonderful paper I really like, people asked participants of the experiments to play in some kind of an investment game. And without too many details, you can Google the paper. People who were more likely to believe in astrology as a resource for investment strategy were as likely to believe in AI predictions. So for a lot of people, AI is just some, crazy machine that you can outsource your decision making to, and this is as bad situation as people who believe in AI features to be bad with outdated mental model. And basically, for AI to for you to make the most out of AI, it's better to keep your mental model up to date. And my talk today is I want to try to convince you always update your mental model. Let's start with something that really is not so encouraging. So the results of already quite a lot of papers that shows that quite often AI alone can have better performance in a lot of tasks than human and AI as teams. It is actually a matter of different conversation, quite interesting. And there are multiple possible reasons for that, but one reason, maybe again, not for the crowd right here, one reason can be that people cannot actually make the most out of AI. For example, in this paper, there were medical specialists who were given AI to have help in diagnosing something, and a lot of doctors basically treated AI as a search engine, asking it questions like, is cirrhosis a risk factor for cancer? Not realizing that you can actually just download the whole information, the whole context about the patient into the AI tool and just get an answer and then estimate the correctness of this answer. So this is a quite easy example for us to understand, but prompting can be harder in terms of how to ask good questions. Another thing is that prompts can be hard to handle in terms of crazy, fuzzy, unpredictable behavior of prompts. For example, you all know that there have been research that showed that AI assistants, AI chats respond better to politeness. At the same time, for all older models, it can be sensitive to small changes in spacing or formatting, so you can get different results given the spacing in your requests. There are some papers that show that AI can get more accurate when you tell them to read the question again. And this one is crazy, and it's not that reproducible right now, but still, there were some data that AI could have got lazier in December, perhaps because they have picked up on the concept of winter break. Just Google Molik and lazy in December, you will find a thread where he tries to show why he thinks like that. All of that lead us to the idea of prompting hacks, some special, strange things you can do to make the model work better. My favorite is this one. Maybe it's my skeptical academic background, but also I believe it will work for you. Basically, a good thing to add to your prompt is ask AI to be aware of things it doesn't know. It doesn't work perfectly, but still it helps you in understanding where AI cannot be as good as it claims to be. Another one, wonderful. You can just ask AI to do better and better and better. I will share the presentation with the organizers. Just read this post. Just ask it do better iteratively, and it will do better. It is just wonderful. These are some simple hacks. There are some more general advices like remember about context, instruction, tone, length of your prompts. Also think of the desired output format, whether you want bullet points or you want text or you want JSON files. So the more details you have in your prompt, the better result you will get out of it. One thing which is little less known is that you can also think of different roles that you assign your AI for. For example, in software engineering, you can, like a good prompt for software engineer, a good idea about the role of AI for software engineers would be think of AI as a junior colleague, quite clever, but always forgetting the details. And this mental model would help you understand what to expect of AI. And actually, if people have this kind of role in mind, our quite considerable research on thousands of developers showed that people are more ready to accept and adopt AI tools if they understand AI as this junior colleague, especially if these are senior developers. But at the same time, you can also think of specific job roles, like once again, example from software engineering, web developer, security specialist, system architecture. You want to optimize code in terms of security or speed or anything. All that information, just think of it. It will help you get the better results. Yes, and given that prompting hacks and these prompts can become quite huge, one thing that is being done today is people try to build so-called prompt libraries. For example, in JetBrains and AI Assistant, you can assign specific AI actions for prompts that you use more often. Probably if in future we will be coding in natural language, this kind of libraries would be very similar to libraries in current coding languages. So maybe this is the way to organize all that information. Of course, it's not only us. It's actually, I haven't checked all the editors, but I believe there will be more and more of them who give you that possibility to have your prompts, share your prompts with different people. So these things really can save you time. But at the same time, I have to say that all this prompt hacking might start working less effective, because some research, it's really hard to generalize in this area, but still there is some research that shows that larger models in general are less sensitive to changes in prompting, and with older models you get these crazy prompts like say thank you, or I will give you $200 if you do it better. For newer models it probably won't work like that. Also because a lot of prompts can be actually used for training models. And the good example here is reasoning models, where in 2023 there was a popular prompt, think step by step to ensure the best results, which was incorporated into reasoning models, which are absolutely everywhere right now. And I wouldn't talk too much about that today, but for these new reasoning models, you have new rules on how to prompt them. And this will just change and change and change. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, if you don't know about deep learning AI and their short courses, I really recommend you. For example, they have specific course, reasoning with O1, already outdated, but it was like 3 months ago, I don't know. But still, just check it. You will find short, very nice courses which will sharpen your skills. All of this leads us to maybe one of the most important part of the most important feature of AI, which I personally want everyone to realize if we're talking about mental models of AI. So AI probably can already in some tasks, or will be able in future in most of the tasks to automate 97, 99, 99.5% of tasks you want to automate. At the same time, all these examples of crazy prompts and how they changes throughout time, and people finding more and more prompts shows us that probably right now we don't have any rules where to expect specifically AI mistakes. So they are unpredictable, much less predictable than human mistakes. And this makes it problem for a lot of real-world applications. AI can be better in general, in average, than human, but engineering systems, complex engineering systems, might be too prone to these mistakes, and 99% can be not enough for quite a lot of questions, actually. So yeah, keep in mind what kind of task you are working at, and be aware that AI is still hallucinating, even though we have a lot of progress in the field so far. But the thing that I really want to introduce to you today is fascinating, not yet practical, but really fascinating story about not only people learning how to work with AI, and that is important, but also AI trying to evolve its possibility to understand people. And let's start with people understanding AI. So I started with mental model of AI. So some idea of AI working as a tool. But actually, it is probable that when we work with at least chats versions of AI, we automatically see AI as a conversation agent which has some mental states. I don't say that AI has sentience or consciousness or something. I just say that people tend to infer mental states of anything you can chat with. And it's quite automatic process. If you're clever enough, you can then think again and like shut down this automatic idea of AI having mental state, but you will still perceive it like that. So it's quite basic for you. At the same time, today, AI can also be trained in order to understand humans better and better. One example, not 100% academically correct, but for evening presentation, good enough. So it's not per se theory of mind of AI, but understanding jokes is a good measure of how AI can understand people. And if you haven't tried that, current models can understand jokes. For example, here you can see explanation of this Pope joke from GPT-4o, and pretty accurate in my experience. Even very brain rot jokes, crazy jokes, it can give you some answer, not in all cases, but still. So it is pretty good. For nerds, there are some discussion whether you can call this theory of mind, blah, blah, blah. Check the link. It's really good. Once again, just for the sake of the presentation. So AI is also starting to understand us. And this gives us the situation where it's kind of a mutual theory of mind, where we evolve to understand AI, we train to understand AI. AI can be trained to understand us better. And this gives us this complex interaction which will be really hard to understand. But people are trying. Just a couple of examples. For example, here in a priming experiment where people have been primed that AI can have caring motive in conversation or manipulative motive in conversation. This actually affected the whole conversation sentiment, both from human and AI point of view. And if humans were primed that AI is caring for you, the whole tone of the conversation became more positive. At the same time, manipulative motive led to negative tone of the conversation. Without any priming, it was just neutral. And this affects the way we use AI, the way we feel about it, the way we are ready to adopt it in our real day work. So that can be important. Another example of that is, once again, conversations and the way AI is perceived. Here, there are multiple research right now that shows that conversations which are based on user expertise, so if you understand somehow who are you talking to as AI, and if you just align your, I don't know, amount of information you give, amount of clever words you give in your output, can actually both affect satisfaction and the effectiveness of recommendations, so overall performance. So basically, it works both ways, and people will be trying to figure out how to use it for their advantage. And I'm finishing. I want to finish with this wonderful link. If you want to stay updated about AI, and I believe you want to because you want to get the most out of it, there is no better way to practice, to do it every day, day by day. But at the same time, you can also find some interesting insights into studies of AI as thing, and maybe the best job is being done by Anthropic, who tries to figure out what they call the biology of at least LLMs, just redirecting you to their wonderful research for your more clever mental model of AI. That's it. Takeaway messages are quite simple. Working with AI is a skill that needs to be mastered. It is evolving and needs updating. Working with AI is closer to conversation, to dialogue. AI is not supposed to be robust right now, so choose your tasks accordingly. And keep in mind that AI is evolving to understand you in the similar way you learn to understand it, and the future will be even more interesting and more unpredictable. That's it. maybe some questions, but before that, if you want to help research about humans interacting with AI, just join some, and if you work in AI with your teams, please follow the link and spend 10 minutes answering some silly questions and giving us information on how to make AI better. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Nick?
So I wanted to ask about the first point on the last slide, that AI working with AI is a skill that needs to be mastered. Does this skill, from your point of view, generalizable? Because on the previous slide, you mentioned that there was a useful prompt step-by-step, which is not useful already because of the reasoning was developed. And it looks like that every skill that you master it will be useful on particular neural network, on particular year, maybe a particular month.
Yeah, I suppose this can be a problem. Like, for example, part of my job is try to figure out what should be this generalizable part of this skill. But basically, it is really hard to do, because the way you treat older models and the way you treat newer models will be different, because they can do more. They also can have different mistakes. For me, an important part here is to understand that it's not just that it's not given, that you need some time figuring out what to do with the model and then get the most out of it. Because for a lot of people, they try, do one shot, they're not satisfied, and they then claim that it doesn't work as I want it to. And it's not like that. It's something where you need to practice to make the most out of it. It's not obvious to a lot of people, unfortunately. But yeah, it's not, for now at least, there's not a lot of it that is generalizable, unfortunately.
Will slide be available? Slides?
Yes, I will share that.
Usability models, can you optimize other inputs like images or sounds in the same manner you optimize the prompts? Can you provide like a better image to the GPT to the task better?
I think so. I'm not sure. Can you expand on the question? So
let's say you want to perform the task X for the, let's say, for the GPT to do it. You can provide prompt A or prompt B and prompt B.
I understand.
Yeah.
So whether you can provide another image with instructions, for example. Yes, for sure. I mean, I don't know whether people do a lot in that area right now, because personally, I work more with chat-based AIs, and this is the way you get the most information into AI right now, I believe. But there are already sketches you can upload to the model that will make something out of it. Of course, there will be some also hacks where, I don't know, how big, whether the, I don't know, you can, what you can do right now, you can do a sketch of simple program you want, upload it to some AI tool, and say generate code out of it. Probably, I haven't heard about the research like that, but most likely, depending on whether this schema is in circles or rectangulars or something, will affect results somehow. I don't know research about that, but I think given what we know about the models in general, it will work like that.
We have time for one more question.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on the last one? So what do you mean by AI is evolving to understand me?
Yeah, so one example is just that newer models can understand your behavior better. One example is jokes. So jokes is something very complex to understand, and AI newer models can do that. But there are also specific models that are being trained to understand people in, for example, interactive games. So there are models that right now I know of quite simple models where, I don't know, you use some game with one human and 2 or 3 AIs and maybe 2 humans, and AI is trained on during the training phase to predict human next moves in the game, and then people see that if AI was trained like that to better predict next moves, it gives at least people who play with AI in these games feeling that AI understands them better, so it works, and this affects the way they play the game. So basically, you can right now you include for training model you include RLHF, where you use humans to shape the output, but you can do that on different stages of your training of the model, and it can affect how well model understands your actions, your requests, your like you can have a fuzzy request of the program you want to get out of it, and it can be trained on understanding your fuzzy ideas about that better than you can explain it in words. Something like that. That was last question. Thank you.
Thank you